Hello everyone and welcome back. This is Doc Ed Padama. This time I will be sharing with you in this video ay kung papaano dapat gawin ang slide presentation ninyo para sa inyong final defense with a sample of the slide presentation. So this is already the actual example of the slide presentation that I did in Canva. So this is what we will be discussing today. What are the parts that you should include in your slide presentation in preparation for your final defense? So let's start. The first content of your slide presentation is what we call the title slide. The title slide should contain the title of your research, the name and affiliation of the researchers or the students, the name of the advisor, and the date of presentation or the date of your final defense. So for this particular content, your slide should look like this. What you see in your screen right now is what we call the title slide. So this is the research title, which is the same title that we used in our previous video, specifically in creating the statement of the problem. And then the second part should be the full name of the researchers or the students. And then the next part will be the full name of your advisor together with the title indicated at the bottom. And then for in this particular order or sequence, the month, the date, and year of your presentation or your scheduled final defense. So again, this is how simple your title slide should look like for the first content of your slide presentation for your final defense. Okay, so the next part of our slide presentation for your final defense will be the introduction and background of the study and the content of this particular part of your slide presentation should be the brief context and rationale of the research and the research gap. So as you can see, I have already provided a sample of these parts enumerated below the introduction and background of the study. So for the introduction and background of the study, you have the first two paragraphs. You can already go through, browse through the introduction, but I want you to observe that the presentation of the introduction in your slide presentation should be presented in a way that it summarizes all of the concepts and ideas that you want to include as part of the introduction and background of the study. The second part, as you can see, is the rationale of the study. The rationale of the study refers to the reason why you conducted the study. You present an argument that motivated you to conduct the study. So basically, that is the idea behind the rationale of the study in a nutshell. Okay? The next part of this content, still under introduction and background of the study, is the research gap. So this is the part where you present the research gap of your study as reflected again in your research manuscript. So this particular discussion under the research gap should be a reflection and a summary of the research gap discussion in your manuscript. And then the latter part is just to conclude and wrap up what is being presented in the research gap. The third content of your slide presentation is the statement of the problem or the presentation of the statement of the problem. So what should be included in under the statement of the problem? So you have the general problem or the main problem and the specific sub-problems or the research questions or the specific problems. So you can just copy paste in verbatim or in toto what you have written in your manuscript, since this part is not that long. Okay, so that is what was done in this particular part of the statement of the problem, this is also the same as what was discussed in the creation or formulation of the SOP in the previous video. And this part, starting with specifically up to the SOP1 or specific problem 1 to specific problem 2, will be the part where you present the specific problem. But as you can see, there is something that needs to be corrected under this particular slide. And what is that? This should be SOP number 1. And then the rest or the remaining part will be 1.1, 1.2, and so on and so forth. Moving on to specific problem number 2. So specific problem number 2 is labeled correctly, and then under that will be the domains labeled 2.1 until 2.5. So these are the things that you need to observe when you are presenting your specific problems, especially if your specific problem has these areas or domains. Okay, the next part will be specific problem number 3. Again, this is verbatim in toto. It was just copied and pasted here in your slide presentation. And then after that, specific problem number 4. Okay, so the next content for your slide presentation will be the significance of the study. So under the significance of the study, you have to present who will benefit the study and how will they benefit, who will benefit and how will they benefit from the study. So for this particular part of your study, you do not need to have a lot of beneficiaries that you need to include in your slide presentation. For this particular slide, I only included the following: the college students, educators, instructors that are engaged in writing, and then policymakers and academic institutions. Do not forget, you have to include the discussion: how will these beneficiaries benefit from the study, which is these parts. And again, you do not need to discuss them comprehensively. Moving on to the next content of your slide presentation. This is slide number 8. As you can see, the content should be the scope and delimitation. The next content should be the scope and delimitation of the study. And what should this contain? It should discuss what is covered and what is excluded, scope and delimitation of the study. So for this particular slide, this one includes or discusses the scope of the study. It was presented using 2 paragraphs, so which is enough. And then the second part will be the delimitation of the study, again presented using just a single paragraph. So you have to be aware of the difference between the scope, which is the coverage of your study, the inclusions in your study, and the delimitation, which is the exclusion of your study. I have a video that uh, differentiated delimitation from limitation. You can refer to that particular video so that you will have a better grasp of what delimitation includes. Moving on to the next content of your slide presentation, which is slide number 9. The next content should be the theoretical framework of your study. So this should include the theories or concepts that you used in your study and that supports your research. And the other one is the framework or the diagram, if there is an existing framework or diagram in relation to the theory or concept that you use. So for this particular slide, this theory or the theory used is from Vygotsky. if I'm not mistaken, and this is the ZPD, or Zone of Proximal Development. So this is a discussion, a brief discussion of the theory of Vygotsky, which is zone of proximal development. And as much as possible, you have to establish the relationship of or relevance of this theory to your study or to the research that you are conducting. And then the second part, as indicated here, is supposed to be the framework or diagram, if applicable. So in this case, there is an existing diagram of Vygotsky's ZPD, or zone of proximal development, which is presented here. And then a description or discussion of the theoretical framework or the diagram presented on your right side is included in the left side of your slide. Okay, moving on to the next slide. Slide number 11, the content is the review of related literature and studies, or the RRLS. So under this particular content, the key findings from existing work should be included, and a brief synthesis towards the latter part of this slide. So as you can see, there is a brief introduction of this particular part. And then after that, the key findings from existing works is presented here. You have to present the author and the year of publication, and then the title of the reference that you used, and then the key findings under that reference and the implication. How does this affect the study that you are conducting? And this will be repeated as needed. So for this particular slide, I did not need to state or enumerate or present everything. So I just chose two to three existing works or references, and then I presented the same labeling, or the same inclusions, which is the key findings and implications for the uh, existing findings or the corresponding findings that will be presented. So the second one is Baker and Harman 2022, and the title is The Role of AI in Writing Construction. And again, I presented the key findings under this particular reference. And then after that, the key findings, the implications, key findings, and then the implications. Okay, so another is by Kim et al., published 2020. This is the title, AI assisted writing and cognitive load, key findings, and then the implications or significance of this to the current study that is being conducted. So this is Tai et al., published, title, and then the key findings, and then the implication. Okay, next, slide number 13. So part of the content, the second part is the brief synthesis. So the synthesis is the summary of all of the references that you used, and then you establish the common denominator of these references, and then establish these common denominators to the significance, or establish the relevance of these common denominators to the study that you are conducting. Ano yung pare-pareho dito sa mga references na ginamit nyo, both literature and studies, and then ano ang significance nitong mga pagkakapareho nito doon sa research na ginagawa ninyo. So that is what we mean by presenting the synthesis of the study. The next content that should be included in your slide presentation is what we call the results and discussion. The results and discussion. So part of the results and discussion is the inclusion of the major findings or the summary of the findings, and then interpretation of results in relation to specific research questions. So if you have 4 specific questions, you have to present the specific question and then present the findings immediately after presenting the specific question. So for the first part, the major findings are a summary of what was discovered in relation to the specific problems. So this is the summary used bullets in order to establish the relationships of each findings to the specific problem. And then on the next part is the interpretation of results in relation to the research question. So as I mentioned earlier, for this particular part, we have reposted the SOP, specific problem number 1, which is highlighted. And then after that, a summary of the findings is presented. Okay, so there are 5 domains. The summary still includes the numerical value based on the tables that were uh, analyzed in the previous part of your manuscript before the findings, conclusion, and recommendation. So again, for the 4 domains, the numerical value should be still be included in the presentation of the findings. Okay, so for this part, we have 5 domains. Grammar, vocabulary, kung babalikan ninyo, makikita niyo yan. Coherence, cohesion, organization, and so on and so forth. So all of these are part of the findings of the study. Galing yan doon sa mga table. So ipe-present nyo yan. And then, you also have to present the interpretation of these numerical values. Okay, so this is the explanation of the percentage or numerical value that you see for these particular domains. And then the interpretation is the narrative. This is already a summary of all of these domains presented in this particular part of your slide presentation. So this will only be repeated in the other specific problems. So we have 4 specific problems. This is for SOP number 1. And then for SOP number 2, it's the same. This is the specific problem. These are the findings and these are the interpretation if the narrative interpretation is not included in the findings. So you can do it this way. That would be easier to analyze and present if you're presenting it using your slide. Okay, the next one, this is supposed to be SOP number 3. And then this is the findings. And then this is the interpretation. If you're going to utilize the conventional method of presenting the findings, the numerical value, and then immediately presenting the narrative, you can also do that. That's a conventional way of doing it. This particular form that I am presenting, introducing, and discussing is an alternative way. Ito yung isa pang paraan na pwede nyong gamitin para hindi kayo naguguluhan doon sa presentation ninyo. So, SOP number 4 is the same. This is the specific problem. These are the findings, and then after that, you have the interpretation. So, for this particular part, the interpretation is already included under the components. Okay, so since SOP number 4 is does not need any tabulation or computation or statistical analysis, because if you're going to look at the question for SOP number 4, it only tries to solicit interventions that can be proposed. So walang statistical analysis dyan. So there is no need to present narrative interpretations. These are the recommendations that can be proposed based on the findings under SOP number 4. So the next part of your slide presentation should be the recommendations. So this particular part should include 2 elements, which is the point person, organization, or institution that will implement the recommendation or the action. And then the second part will be the specific action that would be implemented if there is an action or program or framework that is to be implemented. So again, these are the two components under recommendation, and recommendations. These recommendations should be based on the findings of your study. So under this particular slide, if you're going to take one, train educators. This one is train educators. So this one already includes the the specific target of the action. So there is an action that is being recommended, which is the training of educators to incorporate AI tools, okay, into classroom activities with clear instructional goals tied to specific writing domains. Again, the elements that I presented should be present when you include the recommendations in your slide presentation. So if we're going to analyze the second one, are there any point person, individual, institution, or organization that is reflected in the second part? So let's just remove this. So if you're going to look at the second part, use AI as a scaffolding tool. Who will be using AI? It should be indicated. Particularly, so these are the action where students showed high usage and improvement. So again, there is something lacking in this particular recommendation. That is why I reminded you that recommendations should include the point person and the action that is being recommended. So uh, how do we repair, or how do we uh, modify this particular part of our slide presentation? So we just include specific individuals that would take point in the implementation. So here we can use teachers, uh, may use or can use AI as a scaffolding tool, particularly. Okay, so this repairs the recommendation by identifying the point person that would implement or take charge of the action being recommended. So you can implement this in the other parts of this of these recommendations. So that is part of our discussion right now, for you to be able to identify what is wrong with the recommendations based on the elements that I previously discussed. So the last part, again, this is the recommendation for future research. So for future research, it's the same element. There should be specific person, individual, institution, organization that would take point in the implementation of the action being recommended. So it's the same with the first part. So you just go through, let's go through one of this and try to see if there is something wrong with this particular recommendation for future research. Number one, future studies should focus on how structured interventions using AI affect students' performance in areas. So this one refers to researches or researchers. Also, so researchers should look into the following. Okay, researchers should examine, researchers should provide, or research, future research should provide. You can either include those terms individually in the future recommendation, or you can just make a general statement before presenting all of these future recommendations. So that's the remedy for that particular dilemma or problem if you are encountering that in your recommendation. And then the last part is the inclusion of thanking the panel, thank the panel, and then you can open the floor for any questions in relation to the study that you just presented. So basically, these are the contents. This is already comprehensive. Some PowerPoint presentation or slide presentations does not require all of the elements that I presented, but most of the time, all of the elements that I presented are included and required in the creation of your slide presentation for your final defense. Hindi po palaging ginagamit lahat, pero lahat ng element na binanggit ko, yung ilan sa kanila ginagamit at ipinalalagay sa inyong slide presentation. So, better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. At least alam niyo lahat ng parts para kung ano i-require sa inyo, kayang-kaya nyo nang buuin at ilagay kaysa yung may mga part na hindi na-discuss tapos wala tayong idea o wala kayong idea kung paano ito gagawin o ilalapat sa inyong slide presentation. Again, thank you very much. I hope you were able to take away ideas, concepts from this discussion. And if you are new to this channel, please subscribe to my channel, Doc Ed Padama, and click the like button. And then if you have any questions, you can write it below the comment section of this video. Thank you very much, everyone. Stay safe. God bless. I'll see you in our next video. Bye.